Hey everyone, Gizmo Mogwai here, and it's patch night. Patch 7.3 complete notes have been put out now, and we're going to go over that real quick here. Let's see. 7.3 brings a new stage, a crystalline conflict, Bayside Battleground, and a number of refinements and additions to the game, such as chat bubbles and portrait mode for group pose. We get the new 24-man raid, Echoes of Vanadil, a new trial, new treasure dungeon, Vault 1 Iron. We also should get kind of basically the conclusion to Dawn Trail's story in Alexandria and all that, and then kind of being set up for what we're going to be getting after that. Let's see here. Additional features will be implemented in future updates. Cosmic Exploration and Tool Enhancement Quests. Cosmic Tools are scheduled for release in 7.31. That's, I want to say it's within a month. I want to say, yeah, I think both of these are like within a month. I think maybe that one's like 6 weeks. Can't remember exactly. Let's see. So we got all this stuff, new quest, new MSQ, which that makes sense. MSQ will start in the back room if you're up to date, and then just got all this stuff here. Chronicles of New Era quests have been added. Echoes of Vanadil. So this is going to be for us 11 players. We're really going to probably enjoy this and like it. Shouldn't be too bad, I think, as far as difficulty, but it's going to be something really good. Fighting Earlnark, I think, is the younger brother. Forget. We do know who all the bosses are, but I don't recall. Let's see. 2.x tutorials have been added to quests with certain objectives. Okay, well that, I guess, needed a tutorial. A Phoenix Down reward has been added to the MSQ quest Call of the Sea. That is the quest right before the very first dungeon, if I remember correctly, or it could be the very first dungeon. Which is nice, because they also changed the way Phoenix Downs work. You can actually stack them now. I think there's like a 5-minute cooldown on them. I believe all 4-man content, some 8-man stuff, I think like 24-man stuff can use them. They still take it's a long cast time to use them, but it's a welcome change, because I always carry one because I do deep dungeons a lot, and only having one and then having to use it, and then if you're running with a group and you forget to get another one, and you don't have one drop from a chest, then oh well. So let's see. New chapters have been added in New Game Plus, Dawn Trail Part 3, Fates. New items are available in exchange for bicolor gemstones for the gemstone trader NPC Kajil Ja and Tuligolo. Okay. Not sure what that could be, but I'm sure it'd probably be like maybe triple try cards, music. I doubt it's like mount, because the mounts are usually with the tokens that you get with gemstones. So yeah. Treasure hunt. Following additions and adjustments have been made to treasure maps. Gargantuan skin treasure maps have been added. Let's see, these maps are exclusive to Living Memory, while rewards from the treasure chests on Earth using these maps are the same as Brackskin maps. Only these maps will grant entry to Vault 1 Iron, which is the new treasure dungeon. So, okay. Rewards for Loboskin treasure maps and Brackskin treasure maps have been adjusted. Vault 1 Iron has been added. Vault 1 Iron, a special instance similar to the Cenote Jaja Gural, is a new type of treasure dungeon accessed after finding and opening treasure coffers obtained from Gargantua skin treasure maps. So it's just going over the requirements. Sapler War Magic level 100. You can have up to 8 players. No item level requirement, and time limit of 60 minutes. Progressing through the vault, upon entering the instance, players will find a Hypno slot machine that must be used to perform an invocation. Doing so will cause 3 outrunner screens to cycle through images, summoning different creatures to serve as a trial depending on where they stop. There is also a chance that the invocation may end with your prompt removal from the vault. So, think slots. That's basically what it is. And it goes over the different icons, it looks like, for what it'll summon. So, okay. You don't want this one, apparently. Leaving the vault, 5 trials are passed and the duty is complete. The outrunners stop on spaces that remove the party, or all party members are KO'd. 7.x rewards and Sinnoh Jaja Garal have been adjusted. Granted free companies. Following additions and adjustments have been made to subaquatic voyages. New areas have been added, new items have been added, and maximum submersible rank has been increased from 130 to 135. Honestly, I don't know too much about what the new items would be, what the new items have been. I know if people have subs at their FCs, they're usually sending them out to make money, and that's it. So, I don't know. Housing. Furnishings from the Final Fantasy XIV furnishing design contest have been added. So you can click there if you want to find out the new designs. So, if you're into housing, that's neat. Let's see, you got a workbench, bench press set there. Okay. These are neat. They're useless because it won't go in anywhere. I mean, I guess you could put it to the entrance to downstairs, or if you have a medium or large house, maybe to the upstairs as well. Actually, I don't know if medium has upstairs. Either way. We got some new couches and tables and stuff there. Outside tree. Okay. New orchestrion rolls have been added. New aquarium fish have been added. That's a badass shark. Alright. New seeds for flower pots have been added. Champa seeds. And it just tells you where you can buy them if you are interested in doing that. Vanderbilt Gold Saucer. New prizes are available for purchase using MGP. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. Following additions have been made to Triple Triad. New cards have been added. New NPC opponents for Triple Triad have been added. Alright. Following character voices have been added to Domon Mahjong. If you know how to play that, you got Wuklamat, Kona, and Baku Jaja. Acquisition. After completing the side quests, every little thing she does is Mahjong. In the main scenario quest, Heavensward, speak with De Bourdier and the Gold Saucer to exchange MGP for items that will unlock the designated character's voice. The voices added in 7.3 will become available by requesting through the main story quest. So, you have to do this. You have to speak to them after completing the quest so that you can exchange items. But those voices don't become available until you complete patch 7.3. So that's an interesting thing. If you're interested in that, you gotta, pay attention for. The layout of the Mahjong tab with the Gold Saucer menu has been adjusted. Okay. I've never touched it. Don't know how to play, so alright. Miscellaneous. Duty support has been added for the following duties. Realm Reborn, Cutter's Cry, which means that they have changed how Cutter's Cry is. It's no longer the way it used to be. I think the biggest change would probably be after the first boss, you have basically 2 zones that you can run through, click the shifting sands, and go into the second boss, and you don't have to kill anything. I imagine that they probably changed that up finally. And that's been around since 2.0 launched. So, oh well. Let's see. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Wanderer's Tales. New prizes are available in exchange for Chloe's Silver Certificate Accommodation. Time-worn Braxskin maps will be replaced with time-worn Gargantuan skin maps as an available reward for completing 9 duties in a Wanderer's Tales journal. The following duties have been added as objectives for Wanderer's Tales. Meso Terminal, Cruiserweight, M1, M2, M3, F4, and Valden Iron. Okay. The following raids have been grouped together into raid series categories. In addition, these duties will not affect the Wanderer's Tales in your position prior to reaching level 100. So they changed Asphodelis first or second, third or fourth. They were 2 separate. Now it's just Asphodelis first through 4 circles. Should have been like that to begin with. Let's see here. Wanderer's Tales now features a list of applicable duties for each objective. That's actually nice. Some people that may not be well versed in the game, and they get say complete a dungeon level 1 to 49, which there's no level 1 dungeon. Should just say 15 to 49. And having it, I'm gonna guess that you probably, let's see, Move over the cursor of objectives in the Wanderer's Tale. Okay, yeah, so that'll be nice. I don't really get tripped up on that too much, except for when it comes to the Alexander raid, because they're all labeled differently for each set of 4, and sometimes you kind of forget. But it's like Father, Son, Creator, I think is the last tier. So, yeah. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Fox Hollows. The available trial for Fox Hollows has been changed. So we're no longer doing Suzaku Unreal. This is the Wreath of Snakes Unreal, which is, gosh, I can't remember his name. Snake Man. Different Unreal trials will be available in each major patch. This is bullshit, in my opinion. They should keep them in the game. Should have, 1 or 2 of them be available for the rewards every week. But they should not be putting all that work into these to take them out in 3 to 6 months. Or in case of on the 0.5 patch ones, where they'll be in until the next expansion launches, which could be 6 months to a year. In my opinion, kind of seems like a waste of resources if you're not going to keep them in the game. Anyways, new items are available in exchange for Fox Leaves. I think that's a minion. I don't see anybody writing on top. Still, I like it. Duties that can be recorded have changed. This is a completely wasted tool that they put in. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, okay. Congratulations. A maximize length button has been added to the granaries window in Island Sanctuary, setting the maximum number of days for 2 exploration areas. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but that could be good. Especially if you're just like, farming up the materials that you need for whatever. New hairstyle options have been added for Vieira. New options for Hrothgar. Let's see. Bangs will now be displayed when wearing hood gear, such as hoods, which previously hid them. So there's no bangs, bangs. No bangs, bangs. Whatever. Some people, I'm sure that matters. Let's see. A large number of headgear items are now displayed when worn by Vera and Hrothgar. So that could be nice. Certain headgear items now allow Vera to toggle the display of their ears. If you're turning your ears off, aren't you just basically an elf at that point? An elven? I don't know. Just, it's an option for people that play Vieira. Let's see. When using clarinet performance actions, the delay between pressing keys and the music playing has been reduced. Okay, never done that, but for those that do the musical stuff, that's, I'm sure, really good. Following additions and adjustments have been made to emotes. New emotes have been added. Always happens. The following emotes now can be used while sitting on the ground. All of that looks like it makes sense. The following emotes have been adjusted when sitting on the ground. Only your character's upper body will move. Okay. So, battle system. Actions and traits have been adjusted as follows. Okay, this is more stuff. Let's see. So, looks like Monk is just getting nerfed. 5% on most of their abilities. Sorry, monks. Wait, no. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 40 to 35. No, that's a buff. I'm sorry, that's a straight up buff. Same with Dragoon. Ninja has been buffed really good again. Samurai. Potency is no longer reduced after the first enemy. Okay, so yeah, they just, looks like they're doing buffs for everybody. And Shroud, recast time has been reduced from 15 to 5 seconds. That's actually, if it's the ability I'm thinking of, that's actually really nice. I think that might actually change some of their, probably their rotations a little bit. Wow, 40% to 20%. That's a lot. Good for them. Viper, I have no idea how to play this. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 50. Oh, so they got nerfed. Okay. Not all buffs. Let's see. Bard. Looks like they got straight up buffs. Machinist. Potency increase. Drill. Drill got buffed. Cool. Flamethrower. Why is it still in the game? Air anchor. So it looks like they got buffed on everything. Chainsaws buff. Potency. Okay. Yep. Full on buffs for them. Summoner. Looks like buffs again. Looks like everybody's getting buffs except for poor, shit. Viper. Viper, that's the one. Let's see here. Red Mage. Looks like they got buffs. Pictomancer. Picto's gotten nerfed. Again. For some of it. Hammer Stamp got increased. Looks like just the hammers got increased. Everything else is looking like it got nerfed again. Sorry, Pictos. Let's see. White Mage, AoEs got increased. Potency increase from the trade has been changed from 80 to 85. So straight up buffs there. Let's see. Buffs there. Yep, more buffs there again. Astro. Buffs. Sage. Buffs. Okay. I don't think I saw any tank buffs or debuffs here at all. Yeah, they started with Monk. So, no buffs or debuffs. Nerfs, I'm sorry. For tanks. Descriptions of certain actions and status effects have been adjusted. No changes have been made to their effects. Okay. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Phoenix Down. This is what I was talking about earlier, actually. So they can now be used on players outside of your party. Can be now used in combat in public areas. Can now be used in combat while undertaking certain types of duties. So, instance dungeons, guild levs, 4-player trials, treasure dungeons, deep dungeons, field ops, and variant dungeons. Any duties with restrictions on Phoenix Downs will now display that information in their duty finder description. This restriction does not apply to the guild lev, Solemn Trinity, and the trial, the Great Hunt Extreme. Okay. Range has been extended. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cast time has been increased from 5 to 8 seconds, so it's a bigger cast time. Recast of 360 seconds. 60 seconds in a minute, so that's 6 minutes. Shares a recast timer with other medicine items. Can be stacked up to 999. Can be purchased from following vendors. Okay. Active help window will now appear when obtaining a Phoenix Down for the first time. Progress bar can now be displayed under the nameplate of certain enemies. So, used to be, I believe, on the side for some if you had it active. Now it looks like it's down below. Or maybe they're just adding a different one. To adjust the display of enemy progress bars, check or uncheck display progress bar, only applicable to bosses and powerful foes, under the general tab of display name settings. Okay. I think I already had that set, because I can see these things being casted, so I'm not sure. Something to look at maybe. Let's see, new dungeon, the Meso Terminal has been added. Basically I have to get up there with the MSQ, level 100, 720 or above. Alright. I believe this is going to drop 735 gear. I could be wrong. If it does, I believe that'll be the best for the last Ultimate that came out. New trial's been added. It's hidden. It's Necron. It's most likely something that's like Necron, I should say. Needs 725 or above. Then it's got an extreme. Needs 740 or above. Okay. Requirements, you speak to the Wandering Minstrel to open it up. Item exchange in Solution 9. Wreath the Snake's Unreal. Just a new Unreal. So, okay. If you have not unlocked Fox Hollows yet, you need to go do that. That's over in Adalshire. Drop weight for Wings of Eternity and the Minstrel's Ballad means burden has been increased. This happens to all the trials as time goes on. Weekly restrictions on rewards in the Arcadian Cruiserweight division has been removed. This does not apply to the Cruiser Hollow Saber, so this does not apply to the weapon drop. The number of Cruiser Hollow Sabers required to exchange for a Universal Tombstone 2.0 has been reduced from 7 to 4. This also happens all the time in these odd patches. Let's see, the new Alliance Raid Dungeon, San Andrea, the second walk has been added. 725, this also requires you to have completed the previous one and probably the quest line, I'd imagine. Yeah, okay. That's the requirements there. So when these new ones come out, you can only get one reward item per week for completing the duty. That is not including your, in this case, coin drop for the upgrade item that you can get. You'll need an upgrade item from the previous 24-man and this one to get the current upgrade item for this one. So, let's see. It actually talks about it right here. Upon completing the second walk, players can also earn a separate reward once per week. 2 cracked Nova Clusters and 1 Montiant coin. Montiant coin can be exchanged with Uash Shepya for items used to enhance equipment. Oh, you might just need that coin. You might not need the previous one. I don't think they would have changed that, but maybe. The Orchestrion rolls. Tattered second movement score can be found in each party's treasure coffer that appears after each boss. So these are found in the treasure chest of San Andrea, the second walk. Can be exchanged with the Peculiar Goblin and Lord Juno for special Orchestrion rolls relating to Echoes of Vana'diel. This is all music from Final Fantasy XI. Some of it's really good, some of it's mid. But there's more options for the party members to get it now instead of, like originally when the first one came out, I think it was 3 drop for the entire alliance. So now they shouldn't be going for as much. No longer rewarded cracked Nova Clusters upon completing Juno the first walk. It's because they put it in the second one. Following adjustments have been made to the Occult Crescent South Horn. When entering with an alliance of 24 members or more, you will always enter a new instance. So this is for people that are trying to get Fork Tower. I still have not done that myself, but I heard it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to get into. As long as the Alliance meets the entry requirements for the Fork Tower, an Auroral Mirage weather effect will begin 5 minutes after entering the Occult Crescent. Once the Alliance completes entry into the tower, or 10 minutes have passed, the weather will clear and the instance will no longer be considered occupied. So that is also explained up here. This newly created instance will be considered occupied, preventing entry by players that are not part of the Alliance. So this basically prevents snipers from getting in on that first initial pop. The minimum number of players that must offer Sanguine Ciphers to enter the Fork Tower has been increased from 16 to 24. Okay. The window displayed when using Sanguine Ciphers has been updated to show detailed information on the number of players who have secured entry and those yet seeking entry. So this goes over all that would be in there. Needs at least 24 players, up to 48. Honestly, I believe that, the more the better on there. I don't think it scales with how many people you have, so yeah. Only players who have used a Sanguine Cipher will now be eligible for selection into the Fork Tower Blood. When a critical encounter is in progress, the appearance of the Auroral Mirage weather effect will be put on hold. If its occurrence has been deferred, it will begin immediately after the encounter has ended. Okay. Good change. During the critical encounter Calamity Bound, the Seal of Sunder mechanic will function differently with the lower number of participants. So that is it's part of the MSQ quest in there. that you have to do it at least once in order to complete. And it's got the AoE circles on the ground where you need a certain amount of bodies in each one to close them. And if you go in there with like 3 people, you can't do it. You need at least 4 people, and honestly, the more people, the better. The items obtained from treasure coffers revealed by persistent pots and happy bunnies have been changed. In preparation for the introduction of Pilgrim's Traverse in patch 7.35, the spawn locations of rank S and rank A elite marks in Ilmeg have been adjusted. Okay. I'm going to guess that's somewhere on the southeastern side, potentially, of the map over in Ilmeg. It's just been taken out. That's where I would think it would be, but I could be wrong. 7.x, items required to enhance equipment purchased with Alagon, tomestones of mathematics, twine, glaze can be purchased from the following vendors. Okay, yeah, so you do need the Ordell coins too. And then sack of nuts you can purchase those as well now too. So if you've been stocking up on them and had nothing to spend on them, you can now get that stuff. And then it just tells you where to upgrade them. It's in Solution 9. Players can no longer join duties in progress if they have never cleared one or more of the duties they registered for. Okay, this change was implemented to help ensure players can fully enjoy duties that they are experiencing for the first time. That makes sense. There used to be, and I remember this has happened a lot for some people, where, like for Castrum, for example, level 50 final kind of basically dungeon story for 2.0 launch, people could join mid duty and not know what happened in the first 3 fights or the story that was going on, or shit, they can join towards the end when all you had left was fighting the Ashian. So that's a good change. That should have happened a long time ago. Following duties have been added to the Raid Finder. This is the EX trial that we're getting, and then Unreal. Duty Recollection Extreme has been moved from the Raid to the Duty. Players will now receive the power of the Echo, and the event all parties are incapacitated. And this is just the last trial that we got. Strength of the Echo granted in light heavyweight tier Savage has been increased 20%. Okay. And this is the changes with Duty Roulette. So Uwataya Field Station is now going into the level 100 Duty Roulette, I believe it's called. And now the Meso Terminal and Underkeep are going to be in the Expert Roulette. Following additions to adjustments have been made to Duty Roulette dungeons. Required average item level to register has been increased from 670 to 690. That's because of this dungeon being added in there now. That's the trial. Mentor has been changed. This is the trial. Item level increase. Stone Sky Sea, that's for the trial. This is Cutter's Cry change. The shifting sands that allow players to progress through the dungeon will now appear after defeating a certain number of enemies. Okay, so you have to fight enemies in those second spots now. Let's see, PvP changes. Not going to go over those. PvP actions, not going to go over that. Purify has been removed from Quick Chat. New items are available in exchange for crystal trophies. It's just gear. Season 8 ends, Series 8 ends, Series 9 begins. Crystalline Conflict. The Bayside Battleground has been added. That looks like it's in Tuliolol. Jump glyphs. So that'll be interesting. The arenas change every 90 minutes, so good luck on that. A timer for the spawn of medicine kits has been added. I saw that change was added too, so that's neat. You know when it's going to pop. Players under the effect of hysteria or seduce can no longer utilize the arena events. So that makes sense there too. Players can now register to join casual matches with a party of 2 players. 2 new tiers, Omega and Ultimate, have been added. That just goes over the crystal credit score requirements. Why is it different for different regions? That makes no sense. Maybe it's just really big in Japan there. Season 15 ends, Season 16 begins. Just goes over the different rewards. Frontlines, changes, this is more PvP stuff. New items have been added. This is the raid gear. Getting that tank set. New recipes have been added. That's always happening. I believe there's new crafter and gathering sets now available. Following item names have been changed. So this is the music, Big Bang ticket. Okay. That's because they were going to get a new thing there. Okay, this is housing right there, I believe. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, or submitted for expert delivery missions. This is items that have been given 2-die channels now. That's a lot. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. Confirmation prompt display when dispelling glamours now also indicates that dies and company crest will be removed. Using a gamepad in the window, glamour dresser window, canceling from the glamour creation window will now return to the cursor to the. Okay. Button to filter by your current class or job has been added next to the drop-down filter of shop windows. Following additions and adjustments have been made to dream fitting with set gear. So it just goes over all that. Supplementary text explaining search results is now displayed at the bottom of the item search list window. New items have been added to gathering points. That goes in line with the new crafts. Lobo skins and Brack skin maps can now be obtained from certain botanist gathering points in Heritage Found. New fish have been added. Crafted item level 740 equipment can now be exchanged for upgraded item level 750 equipment. So this is something that happens also in the odd patches. Just goes over the requirements that you need for it. Desynth cap is increased to 750. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Cosmic Exploration. The option travel to Sinus or Durium has been added to the Aetherite. That's kind of nice. Also says in future updates this option will be updated for travel to the newest star available for exploration. Cool. Mounts can now be summoned in Sinus or Durium. That should have been there from the beginning, I believe. Summoning bell has also been put there, which is nice. That helps a lot of people that are maybe grinding out the weapons and stuff. Me personally, I like to try to stay on top of my stuff and check them every hour when they're out. New items are available in exchange for Cosmic Credit. Cosmic Exploration Ethernet tickets and items tradable for existing crafter and gatherer scripts. That might be good. Whatever, depending on what the items are. The notation indicating difficulty of Class A missions has been adjusted. A1. Okay. Makes no sense, but alright. It says it's basically the same thing. Time allowed for stellar missions has been increased. This change does not apply to EX plus stellar missions except those that can be accepted by multiple classes. Sound effects play when starting and completing have been changed. So if you don't get the full gold rating but you get bronze or silver, the experience is increased. Completing missions and accepting them on multiple class. Each class will earn points towards their Cosmic Classic score. Should have been like that to begin with. Players can now confirm the relative distance to the site of stellar missions via the stellar missions window. And that goes over, okay. When undertaking stellar missions, the objective and gold star rating requirements will now always be displayed. Items that can be graded for stellar missions will list score prerequisites in their descriptions. Normal quality, 50 points. Okay. Notification marker indicating the availability of professional missions will now appear in the stellar missions window. Alright. That's a nice change because a lot of people don't even know that they're there. Sequential missions become available. That's a notification letting you know. Time limit for accepting sequential missions after they appear has been removed. In accordance with this change, the clock icon indicating a time limit will no longer display in the list of accepted missions. When a red alert has been issued, the time remaining to accept critical missions will be displayed in the stellar missions window. So essentially, looking at this, this is all quality of life to help this. It should have been there to begin with. That's good. It's there. And just different changes for all this stuff here. New mounts have been added. That is the infamous Yan from the second Savage tier, second fight. Mounting animation has been added when boarding mounts. Mount motions do not apply to certain mounts. New chocobo barding has been added. New minions have been added. Little stingray. New fashion accessories have been added. Yay. A torch. New faceware. And let's see. System. Graphical adjustments have been made to player character models based on feedback. When this happens, and this has happened almost every major patch, they give out a free file of Fantasia. And they're saying they're doing that again. So this will be the third or fourth one now. This will be over in Old Gridania over here. So make sure you go get that before the next major patch. Graphical details for the following gear have been improved. Okay. System, chat bubbles. I've never used chat bubbles, so it doesn't matter to me. These have been added finally. They are disabled by default, and I'll probably leave it as disabled. They will also not display when using performance, during battle, or during PvP encounters. Yeah. Even when enabled, there's an additional setting to display your own messages. The slider is also available to adjust the number of chat bubbles shown from 10 to 100. So if that's something you want to play with, you can look in that. Character limits. Chat bubble appearance. I guess you can change which one it looks like. Display restrictions. Display range for players and monsters has been increased in the following areas. You can choose between normal, extended, and maximum display ranges. The default is normal, matching the range used prior to 7.3. This adjustment can be adjusted using under other settings in the system configuration menu, Windows only. So us console players, basically F off is what they said. Applicable areas, cities, fields, housing areas, permanent, Mandeville Gold Saucer, Cosmic Expo, Occult Crescent, and instance events. Let's see. Multiple instances for Shaloni, Heritage Found, Living Memory, and Lower Juno. So that means for hunts, you're going to get probably at least 2 zones of that. The division of Tuliolol and Yoctel in multiple instances added in 7.25 will be removed. New achievements, going over like what also will be included for completion for these achievements. Let's see. New retainer exploration adventures. New items can be obtained from quick exploration. New portrait accents. New adventure plate accents. That's island. That's from Island Adventure, whatever the hell it is. Following additions and adjustments have been made to group pose. Filter intensity slider has been added. After selecting a color filter, you can adjust its intensity with values ranging from 0 to 100. I guess there's a difference. It would have been nice if they used the exact same picture. I guess that looks more clear to me. Like this part here, a little kind of blurry. So, okay. That's chromatic aberration. That's in group pose only. Portrait mode has been added. New stickers. Okay. Depth of view can now be enabled for group pose, Windows and Mac. This feature is enabled. Okay, so actually, not RIP consoles. We already had that apparently. Following adjustments have been made to the jog status effect. Jog will now be removed when participating in the activity Slices Right and Crystalline Conflicts. Surprised it wasn't already away from that. Will also be removed upon gaining the transporting status. When inside deep dungeons, jog will now be removed when afflicted with the sprint penalty status effect. Glamour button has been added to the window display when examining player equipment. Blacklist. They screwed up Blacklist. Somebody was hacking into it or something, made a plugin for PC players so that they can, I guess, stalk people, which is messed up. And they've done some more changes now for it and all that. Blacklist comments saved between 7.0 and 7.2 have been deleted. All information registered on the mute list has been deleted. Blacklist registration for players on your contact list is now only possible while you remain logged in. Okay. You can now adjust the transparency of the chat prompt. An automatic option has been added to the character and object quantity setting under display limits. Following options have been added to the system configuration menu. Okay. Following options have been added to the system configuration menu, Windows and Mac only. This is just more of that. Character configuration menu. This is turn your VR ears on or off. This is a new emote, I believe. Additions have been made to the auto translate. Additions have been made to the PS5, PS4, Xbox S and X autocomplete dictionaries. New trophies, new achievements, new music, sound effects, and voices. The log message. New additions and adjustments have been made to the launcher. The newly added backgrounds are unlocked after completing the main scenario quest Endwalker. A link to the Final Fantasy XIV Blue Sky account has been added. Whatever. Location of the temporary folder for patch downloads has been changed. I don't know what that is. I think that's like new Twitter or whatever. Or X or whatever it's called now. Resolved issues. Hell's Cure and Hell's Cure Extreme, wherein proximity tethers of certain enemies would not display after the previously tethered character was KO'd. Everkeep Extreme, when Dawn of an Age causes the platform to split, wherein characters would restart in the incorrect position if incapacitated at the same time as a party member on a different platform. AlphaScape V4, V4 Savage, Omega Protocol Ultimate, wherein upon certain conditions enabling focus target on specific enemies erroneously cause the name of the enemy action being cast to display instead of the enemy's name. Okay. An issue after using teleporters and Cruiserweight M4 Savage, wherein the following simulacrum armament summons were briefly unable to execute actions: Dark Knight, Machinist, and Summoner. An issue where the following general actions cannot be executed in deep dungeons: attack target, bind target, ignore target, square target, okay. An issue with the Occult Crescent, wherein rotating the Phantom action panel with 5 Phantom actions required, then leaving and joining the instance would not reset the panel to its default position as intended. An issue wherein defeating an enemy and initiating an XP chain would fail to display the time remaining to defeat the next enemy. I've seen that happen before. So I'm looking over this. I'm not going to go and read all these out. None of these, I mean, these are all just kind of bugs that were fixed, it looks like. Known issues. Graphical noise appears around certain NPCs during MSQ quest added to 7.3. Frame rate may drop during certain instance dungeon battles added to... Got a PS5, so that wouldn't happen anymore, so what the fuck. Crystalline conflict custom matches where upon certain conditions after a Pictomancer is incapacitated, they do not use the PvP action creature motif through the end of the match. They will be unable to use this action after reselecting the rematch option. The only way to fix that is to log out and log back in. That is... wow. PvE actions do not display properly. PvE actions do not display properly. Issue wherein a female VR equipping the assassin's hood causes part of the graphics to clip the character's face. Training bench, silver ornate wall door. This is the Phoenix Down registered. The hotbar does not correctly indicate whether the item can be used when the character target is out of range. An issue and group pose. Item exchange. Chat bubbles. So that's pretty much it for the patch notes here. Nothing really caught me by surprise. We all pretty much, if you kept on top of what was going on, know what was going to happen. So, yeah. Uh, so it says it should be up 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It could be up a little earlier because there's no like Ultimate or Savage, so there's no kind of race or anything. So it could be up a little hour or maybe an hour earlier. Typically, usually if it's going to be up early, it's no more than 30 minutes. But that's all for right now. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep. Stay healthy. Drink water. And, take it easy. Bye.